Let's bring out the man.
Casey Neistat.
Hey guys.
Casey, first things first, for all of our guests, we have a little something called the Instant Challenge. All you have to do is pick one of those boxes down there, just one.
And then what do I do?
You got two options. I'd go with the top one if I was you.
Yeah.
Good choice. And then we'll see what's in there by the end of this.
Wait, do I get to give this to somebody or something?
No, you get to open that later, so you can cuddle with it for now.
But
you're good.
Then what happens?
There'll be some kind of exciting challenge in there. We'll see. It'll be a mystery.
There's a challenge in the box?
There's a surprise, yeah.
Is the surprise for me or for them?
Maybe both. Plot twist.
Are you guys following along? I've got no idea.
So Casey, you're on the Instant stage. Instant is a new outlet created by People on EW for the new famous. It covers digital artists that are doing innovative, incredible things. But you aren't really a new famous. You've been doing this for a really long time. What was it like to make videos back when you started?
You know, my first viral video popped, let me think, 3 years before YouTube even launched. And for a video to go viral in 2003, there was no Twitter or Facebook. There was no reposting. You literally had to email the video around, not a link. You had to send the actual MOV file. So getting to witness and be a part of that transition from where it was then to where we are now has been really eye-opening and enlightening. It's much better now than it was then.
It's a lot of Oreos.
Yeah, do you guys know they have free Oreos back there? But no, let's keep this interview alive. We're losing them.
Oh, God. Okay, well, should we introduce the Instant.me?
I specifically said make sure this interview doesn't suck.
If anyone
I was very clear about that.
If anyone has any questions, specifically why does he have so many Oreos, don't forget to follow and tweet at instant.me, and we'll get to those questions if we have any time. There are so many Oreos there, I'm sort of losing track.
Still going with it?
No big deal, guys. Just try to stay focused.
Casey, what question are you asked the most?
What question am I asked the most? Can I get a selfie? Is the question I get asked the most. The second most question is always about the gear. And I hate questions about the gear, but I totally understand why people ask them. I hate them because it's just not a fun conversation. What'd you have for breakfast this morning? Oreos. That's a fun conversation. What kind of camera do you have is I feel like that's a Googleable question. Hey.
Well, maybe this already answered that question. Besides the gear question, what question do you never want to get asked again?
Can I be in the vlog?
Oh, man.
But I mean that in a nice way. You guys are definitely already in it, because I was filming when we came out.
Have you ever rejected anyone if they asked that?
Well, when people are outside my house, no, you can't be in the vlog. It's like a house. They can't film you outside my house. But for the most part, I film everybody. I just can't put everybody in, which is kind of a bummer. Right. But otherwise, I would lose viewership really fast because it would just be person after person saying, can I be in the vlog? And that's not such interesting content.
What's it been like for you? Because you just started vlogging very recently. How's that kind of changed your, your work process? What's that been like for you? Just kind of that new expression of yourself?
It's been a radical shift. And I would describe it as I used to make videos one every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks on YouTube. They're always about something that mattered. It was always my personality behind it, but it was really about the video. And when I switched over to daily, to vlogging, my ambition with that was I don't want it to just be about this piece of content that I'm sending off into the abyss, but I want to have a relationship with the viewers. I want to create content that's much more of a dialogue, like a conversation, than it is me putting something out there for the world to just consume. And that was sort of an idea that in theory sounded very interesting, but in practice was way more fulfilling, way more exciting, and more palpable than anyone could ever imagine. My content now, half the time it's just me looking at the camera, having a conversation, And I think out of context, like, if you don't watch the vlogs, you're like, what is this guy talking about? But because, like, with the viewers, we have such a daily rapport, you're literally having a dialogue. I read the feedback. I see your comments. I see the tweets. Like, I see the feedback. It really is a two-way conversation, a two-way street. And I don't know, like, if ever in the history of media, if that has ever existed. Oh, a baby.
So how do you, okay, so you're pretty much the innovator of vlogging. So when you see everyone...
Say that louder.
You are the innovator of vlogging.
Stop it, come on.
You are the best.
You guys just...
You started this.
Don't embarrass me.
So, all right, I know the right questions to ask now.
So far, you're winning the interview.
I got this. So how do you feel, though, seeing people like with like your pretty much exact same setup, or things that you see, like you see someone, I saw literally, I was walking here and this guy had sunglasses on and put his camera down on the exact same tripod and started eating, and I was like, I thought it was you. I was like, I'm interviewing. I just walked off. How does that feel, though, just seeing that?
I mean, I love it. I love it. And I think that, like, I think that vlogging was always understood to be sort of one thing, and that's holding like a crappy camera out at arm's length and yapping into it while you walk around. And I think that, like, everything has to start somewhere, and that's a very organic place for it to start. And I would be lying if I said I didn't look at that and say, like, okay, like, what is it about that that's amazing? And then how can that be built upon? So what I do is just like, you know, has the similar relationship with vloggers that preceded me, as I think the young people that are using similar hardware to what I'm doing right now. That doesn't mean that there aren't, like, there are times when it's frustrating, like when you see, like, what I do is not that complicated. It's like that camera that guy has right there on like this bendy tripod, talking to camera. You can reverse engineer the style. And I think that that's uninteresting. I think when people, like, really emulate the exact style, that's not interesting. Because I like to think it's not the style of the vlogs that makes the content good, it's the content, it's the substance, it's the conversation. And I think when people just try to emulate the style itself, they're missing the heart. You know, it's like a...
Well, and speaking of conversations, you've had a very long conversation going on with the NYPD in a couple of your most famous videos. Can you talk a bit about...
I have the greatest relationship with the NYPD. Like, I'm not kidding. Those guys are all my friends. Like, Rich, the guy who drives that ridiculously stupid little micro machine. Rich is like a friend of mine. Like, I hang out with that guy. And, like, no, I think the thing about, like, police in general, especially in the world of YouTube, is that, like, it's most common, like, people catching cops doing something bad on their cell phone with a lot of screaming, and it gives, like, law enforcement a bad rap. And, like, that is not the experience I've had in life, and that's not the experience I would ever want to share. Like, I think that cops, especially the cops that I have the benefit of interacting with, they're like people just like us, and they're like, they love joking around, they love messing around. Like, I love being able to incorporate that into the videos.
But so, like, talk about the snowboarding video for a second.
So, like, the snowboarding video, first of all, like, I talked to a bunch of the guys in the NYPD, and they're all like, we love that video, man. We love that video. And when the guy pulled us over at the end of the video, like, what he said, and it's on camera, he's like, somebody called complaining about you guys. I just need to make it look like I'm telling you not to. And then he, like, shook his head, and he's like, all right, have fun out there. And we, like, took off and kept snowboarding. So no, like, that was a really fun day, and I think that any cop with half a brain, which they all have, they're all smart people, they look at it and they're like, a couple people having a fun time, it's innocuous, no one's being hurt, and they're not doing anything really that stupid here, so let's let them have fun.
But I'd be intrigued to know, you know, with that video or with the bike lanes video, you know, how do you kind of come up with that? I mean, because that's clearly, in both cases, it's you sort of reacting to something in the environment.
Well, the bike
really
lanes video, have you guys seen the bike lanes video? That was just like me being mad. And you know when you're, like, mad at your teacher or whatever, you're like, I wish I could tell the world how mad I am at Mrs. Plotnick. I was just, like, mad at that cop, so I made that video, and it did really well. And now, like, literally every once in a while I get a picture from him, and it's like him and Candace. He's like, hey, I found your wife. And it's like the cop and Candace, like, what is going on here, guys? But the snowboard video is literally something I've wanted to do for 10 years. And like I bought that ridiculous monster truck of a Jeep so I would be ready for when a blizzard hits New York City. And I had snowboards at the ready, I had everything ready to go. So much so that a year ago, when we were supposed to get this huge blizzard in New York City, like we had everything ready. We were totally staffed up. Like my friend Finn Harries, you know him? Finn was in town, and like we all stayed in a hotel. The snowstorm was supposed to be so bad. We all stayed in one hotel, so like the next morning we could just get out there and shoot it. And we woke up and there was like this much snow on the ground, and we're like, maybe next year. And then this was the year.
It finally happened.
Yeah, it finally happened.
What was it like snowboarding in New York?
Don't ever try that, guys. Don't ever snowboard in New York City. But it was so, I mean, it was insanely fun. It was so outrageous. There was too much snow for cars and too much snow for cop cars and too much snow for like anything but snowboarding. It was amazing.
Wow. So you have like, so your life is basically like full of memories, but has any, like, if you had to name like the most memorable fan you've ever met, just like walking on the street, vlogging, like, what can you like think of on the top of the head?
And you know, I like meeting everybody. It's hard to say like which is the most memorable. Like I just met a kid outside who took a selfie. He seemed really awesome. If you're here, dude, what's up? But no, like meeting everyone for me is always like a big honor. It always means a lot. It means a lot to me personally. I can tell you like the most surprised I've ever been when meeting fans was when I was at the Oscars. And I'm literally like at the Oscars, like wandering around like a dope with my vlogging camera, not sure how to behave or what to do or who do I make eye contact with or like, can I get some more of those tiny cheeseburgers? And like a guy with an Oscar in his hand comes over to me and he's like, hey, I hate to do this, but you think I could get a selfie for my kid? And I was like, you just won an Oscar. You can have whatever you want. So it's those moments that are they always catch me off guard.
We have a question coming in on Twitter. Remember,
I was wondering why you were checking Twitter. I was like, dude, just wait till after our talk and then you can check Twitter.
It's because
you're being really rude right now.
Some very important questions coming in, though. Here's one that I always wonder about. What kind of drones do you use, and how often do you ruin, parentheses, kill those drones? That's from at Haley Irwin, if she's out here.
I've probably been through, I can tell you exactly. I've been through 9 drones so far this year. 6 of them are Phantom 4s, which is probably my favorite drone out there right now. And I took number 6 out of the box like 4 days ago. But the thing about drones and gear in general, and I just talked about this in one of the episodes, but they give you incredible opportunities to do cinematography that's never been done before. But there's absolutely an inherent risk to the hardware to shoot that stuff. If all you want are big shots of the sky where you see a city, very safe, very easy to do, you're never going to break your drone. I'm not interested. That's boring. These guys would unsubscribe if all I had was stupid, boring aerial shots. So to integrate the content from a flying camera in a meaningful way that actually that improves the storytelling, that improves the totality of a vlog, you have to take chances with it. I break these things once every 3 weeks, and it's because this is how I carry it. I do not own a lens cap. I don't. The minute I buy a new lens, the lens cap goes in the garbage, because I would rather have a scratched lens than miss the shot. I'd rather break the camera than miss the shot. And I feel that way about everything I do because this is my life. So I know a lot of people thanks guys. I know a lot of people get frustrated when they see me just destroy gear like it's going out of style. But there's real purpose behind it, and I refuse to make the hardware precious. All that matters to me is the conversation and the story. This is just sort of a catalyst to get me there. Who asked that question? Who asked?
There was one question that I wanted to get to.
I was going to give you an Oreo. Nobody raised their hand.
Oh, she got it. Oh, shit. Oh, he took it from her, man.
Dude, if you don't share that Oreo,
cold.
I'm going to come out there and stab you to death with my tripod.
Cold.
Someone out there was also asking if you can sign their laptop, but maybe we'll save that for
That's the best question we've got coming in. I feel like we're having a really smart dialogue here.
I got a question, Casey.
Lay it on me.
Nowadays there's so many creators who are starting to work for bigger companies, whether in television or streaming, feature films. You're somebody, before any of this was happening, you were working with HBO. What kind of advice do you have for kind of younger creators who are maybe looking in the long term to take their brand in that kind of
Don't waste your
direction?
time with TV or movies. Don't. this is where it's at. And I mean that, like, to really reduce it to something. How many creators out there? Yeah. Like, if you're a creator, what that means for all of us is that, like, we believe in our ideas and our perspectives so much that we're compelled to share it. That's sort of what all this is predicated on. We want to share our ideas. So therefore, like, we should only be sharing our ideas in the environment that enables us to do that the best. So, like, what does TV have? Like, it sounds cool. You sound like a big deal when you're like, I'm on HBO. But, like, do you really reach the same amount of people in the most meaningful way? For me, the answer is absolutely not. My show is on HBO on Friday nights at midnight. Can you imagine if you could only see the vlogs Friday night at midnight from 12 until 12:22, and then you don't get to see them ever again? Like, that is so limited. So when it comes to YouTube, it means, like, you control everything. Like, I can share whenever I want. Everybody gets to see it whenever they want, on whatever device they want. Why would you possibly look elsewhere? Let go of the ego behind it and instead of focus on what matters, which is reaching the audience. And nothing enables that like the internet. Or like YouTube. I don't want to say that.
So pretty much your life is revolved with vlogging. Like, your life isn't vlogging, vlogging is in your life. Like, how do you have like those times where you're just like, I don't want to edit right now?
Yeah, every single day. Last night, there were like all these really cool parties going on for people that had these yellow passes. Sorry, guys. And I didn't go to any of them. Like, I didn't have a sip of beer last night. I was done with like everything. I was in my hotel room by 9:45, and I was asleep at 10:15. I was up this morning at 3:30, editing a video that I finished at 7:45, so I could be at my first meeting by 8. And that is what 7 days a week, 365 days a year is for me, because when the choice is like party and get drunk and like hang out with friends, or make something that I get to share with like the world, it's a really easy choice. What excites me more, what makes me happier? The idea of making something, nothing supersedes that. I love the idea, the act of creation. And that's why, like, I say, and I'm very vocal about this, like, there are two priorities in my life, and only two: family and work. And everything else is like in some sort of miscellaneous bin of priorities that I keep under my bed. It is that. It is family and it is work, and I don't really care about anything else. And that's how I approach everything, and that makes it really easy when I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely rather sleep 4 more hours right now than edit another video. But when I just think about that, it's like, no, let me tackle this video.
Well, and there's a question coming in on Twitter that I kind of like, because it's maybe in this more reflective mood, from @TofuDigin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you could go back in time to when you started on YouTube, what would you do differently?
I would have switched to daily much sooner. Honestly, like, I always considered, oh man, it works. I always considered, how long do you think I can keep it balanced for? Hold on.
5 seconds.
10 seconds.
It's
30 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4. That's 4. That's 4. 4.5.
I always considered YouTube when I first started as just another way to share the content. You've got film festivals, TV, you've got movie theaters, and you've got YouTube. And I was completely wrong about that. I neglected the very thing that I love so much about daily, which is the dialogue. And it took me until I switched to daily to realize that. And looking back, that was a mistake. I should have had a greater understanding, a greater appreciation of that much sooner. And I think that, like, anyone, whether you have like 30 views or 30,000 views, you can see that, like, humans, real people, are choosing to watch your content. And when I only had a couple hundred views on my videos, like, that meant so much to me. And I think I undervalued that when I first got started.
Oh, you go for it.
No,
you.
Please.
You don't have an Oreo pack. You got to work for it. Come on, man.
True.
Keep up.
Well, I'd be intrigued to know, I mean, since you're so focused on this now and on vlogging, I mean, what's next for you? I mean, like, you're already doing so much. What kind of projects are you working on now that you can talk about?
I mean, the short answer is more. Like, all I want to do is more. The reaction, the response, like, I'm still fairly new in the vlogging game. It's only been a year. I want to do more of what I'm doing right now, and I want to do it better. And I want to see what happens. And until I, like, evolve that understanding, I don't see any reason to, like, look elsewhere. Why would I do something different when, like, what I'm doing right now I love so, so much? And everything's cyclical. Nothing lasts. But right now I feel like I'm, like, if the mountain's this high, like I'm halfway up it when it comes to figuring out what this vlogging thing is and what the potential is behind it.
So with like vlogging, you're always backtracking like in the past. And now that live streaming is becoming more of a thing now, being in the present and still, in a sense, I see people broadcasting, they'll be broadcasting their life. Like they'll go like for 6 hours. Have you ever thought of implementing like live stream with vlogging?
Who's live streaming right now? I'm highly skeptical of live, and here's why. I think live has worked. We've had live for like 60 years. It's not new. And live has worked for exactly 2.1 different scenarios. Number one, breaking news. You'll always want live. Number two, sports. I always want to watch the NBA playoffs and finals live. And then like the point one, the asterisk, is video games. Video games are really fun to watch stream, but that's brand new. Who knows how sustainable that is. But like to watch a YouTuber live, I don't know. I would rather see it later, edited, and have it be interesting. Like, if you remember like the TV shows that are like filmed in front of a live studio audience aren't live. It's because they have to edit it and make sure it's good. So I would trade good for live any day of the week. And the novelty that is live isn't enough for me to watch something that's uninteresting. Because I think what makes content good and what makes content bad, it's a binary. It's one thing or the other. Am I interested? And if the answer is yes, it's good content. And if the answer is no, it's not good. So when it comes to live, like, it's really hard to be interesting on live. And therefore, I think most live content's bad. And until somebody figures that out, whether that's someone on the creation side or whether like the software itself gets more interesting, like floating hearts going by and comments on screen is not enough to make it interesting for me. Watching somebody play Call of Duty and then having them in the upper right-hand corner with headphones on swearing a lot is weirdly interesting. So like they figured that out. I don't know why, but like that, I like watching that.
Well, Casey, we're sort of running out of time, and you still have to open up your box, although I noticed that now there's lots of Oreos on top of that box.
It's like Jenga.
Be careful, everyone.
What happens if I start throwing around these Oreos?
Just run.
Total
We'll take the fall.
bedlam, right?
We'll take the fall.
Let's see what's in here. Box number 2. Oh my God. Everybody in here, under your seat is a brand new set of car keys. You all got a new Ferrari! Just kidding. People often come, this is a question.
What does it say?
I don't know, I can't read real good. People often comment on your vlog saying Candace looks angry and never smiles, but Candace is the best. Film the crowd showing Candace, that's kind of good. Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm all out of hands. Hold on, I can do this. Okay. Just bear with me here, guys. Film the crowd showing Candace how much they love her. How much do you guys like Candace? I guess throwing Oreos is probably a bad idea, right?
It's like 16 vlog cameras just went up.
I'm just gonna go like this and put this box back where I found it. Oh, you guys are too much. All right.
Off the seesaw.
I can't do a backflip off a seesaw.
I'll give you $10 on PayPal.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, sir. Where can people find you for the rest of VidCon?
Well, they're not allowed to walk around out there because of what happened yesterday. I'm sorry, VidCon. But no, I'll be around. I'm doing some more. Okay, I don't know my schedule, but I'm around. I'm here till Sunday, and I hope to meet every one of you. But judging by the look on this guy's face, it's not going to happen right now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Everybody give it up for Casey Neistat.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and vlog this myself.
Thanks, guys.